Happy Donnerstag.
Is that really how you say that?
Yeah.
So you could have just made something up and I wouldn't have known.
Unless it's Dienstag. I think it's Donnerstag. I think Dienstag is Tuesday. Because it's just a thing that, like, both in German and English, those Tuesday and Thursday seem related in pronunciation a little bit. Like they both start with the same letter or something. I don't know.
I don't really like Thursdays.
Montag, Dienstag,
they come off as like the
Mittwoch,
most bland day of the week.
Donnerstag, Freitag, Samstag, Sonnabend. I think. I think.
I took French. I don't remember how to say any days of the week.
It's been so,
I retained so little.
It's been so long. I was a little baby and now I'm like twice as old.
You're still a little baby, Keith.
By morning, Leo seems to have perked up a little. It starts with some good news from Flynn.
What?
He's dead.
Good news from Flynn?
Carl had been in the crawl space.
Motherfucker.
According to him, it had been too hot to sleep anywhere but there.
I already forgot Carl was missing.
Yeah. What? It's distressing. Of course, that's fucking insane, but it's definitely something Carl might do. In better spirits, Leo suggests we go out to some burger joint, to which I agree. On the way, we chat about my project. So, obviously I don't want to spend all of our time just having fun. You have a project to do, after all. Yeah. I don't remind him that most of this messing around has been his idea. Though we do need to hang out with TJ today, if that's okay. I promised him we would yesterday. He's been feeling kind of down, obviously.
Yeah, is today the day we're supposed to hike with him? Did we better have remembered?
I think we promised tomorrow yesterday.
I think so. But we also promised ourselves that it wasn't an empty promise.
Yeah, so. Which means that's just like setting up the idea that we won't do it. I look down at my sausage biscuit sandwich, the excess grease glistening in the sunlight, shining through my window.
What if it's like that one from Birds of Prey?
Oh. So it's tragic?
No, it's just beautiful.
It's just a very beautiful sandwich made for the street. I was thinking the park. Yeah, that sounds like fun. So, what do you still need to do? I take a bite to give myself time to think. Well, honestly, I'm not too sure. The whole premise is about the body that was found in the mine. Yeah, what was that about? Well, I read about it on a website. Apparently, some guy's mutilated body was found in the mines, and everyone in the town lost their minds. A website? Yeah. Shouldn't you have a better source than that?
It's Wikipedia.
Well, especially if the whole idea of your project is based off of that.
Well, that's why we're here.
I blush.
Research.
Someone like Leo chastising me about journalistic integrity is kind of embarrassing. It's not that he's stupid. I guess I'm just used to feeling like the brains of our little dynamic. I mean, it's cited. I just need to get the book, which is something else we'll need to do. Do you have a library card? No. Wow, surprising. But I could sign up for one. Leo nudges me. Don't be bitter. I just want you to do a good job. I'm the one that went to college. I know what I'm doing. Leo.
Most people who are in college don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, no, because nobody knows what they're doing.
Ever.
Leo laughs. You know, I read a study about college kids. A study. Sounds like something you wouldn't know about considering you didn't go to college. Okay, Chase.
Way to be an elitist.
Being a weird dick now. Right, anyway. It was about how college doesn't make you smart, just more liberal. I don't think that's a study you read, because I think that's been the opposite's been proven, actually. Uh-huh. So is that a bad thing? Well, paying $20,000 a year to get indoctrinated doesn't really appeal to me. That's just not a thing, really, as far as I'm aware. It's not that it makes you more lean further left or right, it's that it makes you more open to outside perspectives and more familiar with other people because, you know, it puts you with a bunch of people that are different.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I do think, I don't know. I have definitely met a lot of college kids that were very insufferable.
Yeah.
but I think, how about this? Maybe it's more so you're definitely just exposed to different ideas, but for some reason you're granted the idea that your ideas actually have weight and are more valuable than they are. So regardless of what direction you go to, I think you just end up coming out like you just think that you're the bee's knees, man, and everything you gotta say is real smart.
Yeah, I mean, you are specifically being put in a thing that's supposed to make you the smart person, and it's kind of a lie and kind of a mess.
But you also don't get exposed to like normal like a lot of people who are like at college, and I'm not just speaking about everybody at all, but I mean like a lot of the people like are living on campus. They're not like out with the people like the normal workers who doing their day-to-day bullshit and just functioning as a human being upon this earth.
Yeah.
Like they are told that what they're doing is immensely important. But when you leave college, there's a lot of times where you just realize that it's not exactly like that.
Yeah.
And your opinions aren't as valuable as you had assumed they were when people were telling you how great you were in college.
Me and my original plan for a YouTube channel that was going to be relatively I had this little bit of a fire lit that I was gonna have this relatively confrontational YouTube channel coming out of college, and then I met with Andrew to start working on that, and we ended up just fucking around and podcasting a bit, and then playing video games and did a gaming channel basically.
We're gonna be what's that one guy that has the booth that's like prove me wrong or whatever?
No.
You're gonna be that guy. And have a YouTube channel about wrecking your opponents.
Fucking Steven Crowder. Jesus Christ.
Obliterated somebody with a different opinion than me.
I had this idea that I was gonna interview people and try to figure out what the fuck makes them tick and what the hell they're talking about and so on. And this idea is insane to me. The idea that I would even be willing to like approach people and interview them in the first place, but like. I was getting increasingly frustrated by just the abortion people, basically. That's the ironic thing, is you always hear about this like political radicalization that happens in college, but I went to college and I'm like, where? Like, politics is so unrelated to most of the classes I'm taking, and the ones that are political, like, somehow every government teacher I've ever seen is conservative, like, consistently in high school and college, and, my critical thinking teacher was some like rich weirdo that had said incredibly out of touch things, like he bragged about how he bought his car entirely in cash up front and stuff like that. And so he's like, people who take loans and so on are fools and so on. And it's like just bizarre nonsense that everyone just got to stare at.
You don't necessarily have a choice.
Yeah, everyone got to just watch this guy just say utter nonsense, and we were just confused by him because he just seems so completely detached from reality.
I mean, I will say, I think perhaps like my vantage point is a little bit skewed because all of my very intelligent, great friends from high school, I'm not saying that sarcastically, I mean that genuinely, like they're wonderful people, went to Bay Area colleges. Really, really nice colleges.
I was just in Sacramento. But also, like, yeah, I don't know if it's different in different colleges to some huge degree. Like, I know Berkeley has a reputation. But Berkeley
that's one of them, yeah.
But Berkeley isn't the institution of college as a concept, if you know what I mean.
Berkeley I liked the campus a lot.
What I was getting to is that the fact that, like, if anything radicalized me, the thing that made me want to do this, like, kind of confrontational YouTube thing was all the fucking protest people that were there to, to either change or fix or save the college kids. There were all these people that would just sit there all day in the shade of a tree in a card table with like Bibles and try to get people to talk to them.
I've gotten
Yep, and there's a bunch of people that hand out flyers about like like all the horrible like.
I collect those.
Like flyers.
If anyone's
these flyers like advocating against gay sex and stuff like that, and like people like out and like picketing with these big poster boards of like just giant blown up photos of aborted fetuses, and you're just like
no. I had a whole freak out at my college because somebody was doing that, and I did that thing where you get so angry that you can't talk, and I was fucking I just like angrily cried. I just yelled at them and then like stormed off, but I was like I felt like I look back on that and I cringed because I'm like I did not even say anything. I just got so upset that I like I blew up at them and ran off and like cried
But, like,
because I was just so immensely angry that
It's
I couldn't even
frustrating.
form my thoughts correctly. It baffled me so immensely that I like I was just like, what are you doing here? Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, if you ever want to send if you want to send like gifts, I collect religious documents that people hand to me.
Yeah,
And
you
I
can
make
send
art
to the
out of
PO
them.
box. It's in the about page of the YouTube channel.
I love.
If you want to
chick
send
tracts.
gifts to Stephanie for her birthday, even though this will go up like 2 months later, probably.
No, we live in a Bible Belt area, so I find them on the ground a lot. So I just like pick them up, and I some of them are so funny. I helped a lady out to her car at my work, and she gave me she's like, oh, let me give you a tip. I'm like, it's okay, you don't have to. But I was like, kind of like, please. I was like, oh, a tip, like that's nice. And she hands me a book. It's one of those little religious books, and I'm like, I was so offended. I was like, thank you, goodbye.
Yeah, politically, like it was weird. It was because I went to college, then I came back essentially being judged for having gone to college by the people that sent me to college, because like conservative media was telling them that I was brainwashed by college, and now that was a problem, even though they wanted me to go to college and I was raised to go to college. But when I was in college, every teacher I ever met, like my government teacher was very overtly conservative, and then everybody else was like somewhere in between apolitical to like that really specific like folksy right-leaning out of touchness that just older people have, basically. And like that was pretty much like the vibe across the board. But like politics didn't generally come up. I went there to study rocks. I went there to study computer science first, and then basically flunked out and went to study rocks. So it's like I didn't get like I didn't take a feminist course while I was there. Like, so like the idea that I was being radicalized was just so strange and confusing to me. But yeah, you're just confronted by the right constantly because they're like at war with you, because they're being told by the media that these students are essentially the enemy. And it's like, that's the most I encountered, essentially. It's just a very strange like narrative surrounding college. It's like, ma'am, this is a state college. I don't know what you think happens here, but I have to walk a mile just to get from my car to class, and you're in the way.
I'm very poor. I'm not changing the world.
My car doesn't have air conditioning, and I drive in the middle of the summer. All right. Well, anyway,
Yeah, sorry,
Leo, very in touch with what colleges are as a denizen of Echo. I frown. Is that why you stopped going? Or have you just been looking up these studies to make yourself feel better about quitting? Okay, Chase.
Yeah, you guys are both wrong. Both of you guys need to stop it right now.
Leo pauses. That's a strong word. I guess I just realized that what I had was good enough. My dad makes more than most college grads, and he's teaching me the trade too. Leo pauses as he changes lanes around a massive 16-wheel carrying what looks like steel. And I'm already certified. Okay, where exactly are you going with this? I just want to make sure you're okay with that, is all. Oh, well, I'm not Jenna. As long as you're doing what you want, I don't really care what it is you decide to do.
Just talking smack on everyone today, Chase.
Leo smiles. Well, good. And if we, I'm not saying we will, but if we ever get together again, I'll be able to support you. you and your college loans and no job. Well, just don't make fun of me for going to college or what degree I decided to get into. You're already a good enough writer already. You could have just started up a blog or something. What? I just read that's what journalism is these days. I start sulking again.
Oh.
Maybe you should stop looking these things up. At least I'm learning to do something. It's not like I just got a degree in psychology and stopped there.
Gosh.
Be very funny if the writer had a degree in psychology or something. Didn't you tell me you wanted to go into history? Isn't that worse? Let's just drop it.
Oh gosh.
Leo looks at me out of the corner of his eye. Chula, I'm not making fun of you. Well, when someone starts sounding like my dad, I think it's a good time to end the conversation. Aw, you're not into that?
Oh my gosh.
Definitely not.
That's so funny. It's like, ooh, like, daddy don't
Daddy.
talk. But then it's like, I'm disappointed in you.
You
It's like,
got the wrong degree.
Yeah, saying all the stuff that dads would say.
Talk dirty to me, daddy. I'm disappointed that you got a history degree. Oh.
Your arms are real scrawny.
It's really stupid. We drive in silence for a while as Leo pulls out his food from the brown, grease-stained paper bag. As we're heading back, he nudges me. Hey, I have an idea. He talks with his mouth full, one hand holding onto a sausage biscuit while the other steers. Are you asking me? Hey, both hands on the wheel. Leo chuckles as he swigs from his orange juice carton with his steering paw before returning it to the wheel. Even when I'm in the car, you drive like shit. Hey, I'm way more careful when you're with me. That's alarming.
Scary.
That makes me feel so much better. Good. He takes another huge bite. I wait while he chews, and when he finishes, he takes another bite. You were saying? Oh, yeah. You know those train tracks behind my yard? Didn't you say they were important somehow? Yeah, Echo used to be an import junction.
Important.
An important junction. Well, why don't you go there, and you can film some stuff. The rail yard is only like a 5-minute walk away. I think. Actually, yeah, that's a good idea. It's also where we had our first kiss.
Ew, ew, ew.
Leo smiles, panting a little in the heat, looking proud of himself. Cool, we'll go over once we get back. There's not much left of the old train yard. The building that used to service the junction is basically gone, save for the foundation. There are 2 groups of abandoned freight cars with Golden Gate Southwestern and chipped paint on the sides. I'm happy to see it, since it'll help with the scenery I'm trying to capture. After doing a few panning shots along with some close-ups of the cars, I lean against an old freight car with my head back. I close my eyes against the heat. It's almost noon, so it's almost impossible to find any good shade out here. For some reason, it's only now I'm realizing how stupid it was to do this so early. The sunset would have looked a lot better, along with it being a lot cooler. Leo's been gone almost 20 minutes at this point. He said he was going to get some water bottles, but it's been a while. The sweat seeping into my shirt makes my skin crawl. After looking around, I peel it off and hang it up against a small metal ladder on the frame of one of the freight cars. I lean back against the exact spot I was in earlier, where it isn't burning hot, and resume closing my eyes. Vaguely, I wonder how many miles this thing has covered, how much of the country it's seen. The railway was closed down in the 60s, so it's at least over 50 years old. Unless they're just using Echo as a dump for unwanted train cars and left them here recently. A lot older than I am. There's something weirdly comforting about leaning against something that's been through so much, almost reassuring. Like the boulders, I guess. It's like swimming in an old river, or a lake that's been around for millions of years. Something brief connected to things that are permanent. I hear rustling through the grass on the other side of the car, but I keep my eyes closed. I'm a little worried that they split up right after they almost got hate crimed last night.
That's a really good point. Yeah, at this point I really just don't think I'd be doing any stuff by myself around this area.
I feel pretty nervous, and whenever there's somebody unseen approaching and you're just assuming who they are, I'm always like, it's not going to be that person.
It's such a trope where it's like, yeah, somebody, they show somebody with their eyes closed and they look up and like, and they're halfway through their sentence and they look at the person and they're like, oh wait, that's not the right person.
It's untrustworthy.
Yeah, no, it's definitely always a setup.
Leo, I think I'm gonna die. I'm not built for the heat. I wait, but he doesn't say anything. It's just an actual wolf. Leo?
Yeah, what? I was gonna say that would throw me off immensely.
The rustling starts up again. A long, slow drag through dried vegetation. This time it sounds like it's coming from under the train. Leo? I finally open my eyes and step away from the car, turning around to look at it like I can see through it. What are you doing? Obviously trying to scare me. Leo was never as subtle as Jenna, but he did have his fair share of at least trying.
At least it's not Leo.
I lean over to look under the car, glaring. You know, if you're trying...
Oh, there's different feet under there. Oh no!
I met with emptiness under the car. Just dirt, dead grass, and rusted rails. Was it some kind of animal? It sounded pretty big to be...
Okay.
Alright. Reverse psychology, let's go.
Oh shoot, they got me.
Chase. Fuck. A heavy paw slams on my shoulder and I jump as Leo shouts right next to my head. I stumble forward, but he grabs me up, laughing. Oh, holy shit, I've never seen you jump that hard before. Normally I'd be pissed, but that build-up just had me glad it was Leo. How the hell did you do that? Do what? That whole setup you did. Well, you see, first I take my hand and I slap on your shoulder. No, the whole walking around behind me and making that dragging sound under the car. Huh? Leo looks confused. I frown. Guess it would have been kind of impossible for someone Leo's size to sneak around like that without him seeing me. Did you hear something? Leo mimics my earlier position and bends over to look under the train. Yeah, but there wasn't anything there. I thought you were trying to scare me. Well, I was, but I didn't do that. Probably some animal or something. There's a lot of weird wildlife out here, you know. He stands up. That would have been a good idea, though. It sounded really heavy, like a person. It could have been. You know, a lot of the weirder people around here like to come here to get drunk, or high, or whatever, so...
And so you left me here, all by myself.
I was gonna say all the more, I'm like, why did you fucking leave me alone here? What's going on? Sounds fun. I must still look a little unnerved because Leo sets a hand on my shoulder. Well, I'm here now, so don't worry. His eyes drift down to look at my torso. Damn, you've kept in shape. Well, better shape.
Wait, better shape than before, or
before, I guess,
or
maybe better shape than he has, because he's got a big gut now.
Oh,
but because we're shirtless right now,
it's always confusing.
Just like he's always wanted us.
In games like this, in situations like this, you have somebody who's like, "Oh, I'm big now," but it's like you're still fucking like cut. Like Carl was like talking shit about how he's all chunky, but it's like, dude, you fucking look great. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, I think everyone's used to looking at Carl as fat because he was, but now he's fucking built as shit under that, but still looks similar, and so people just they don't like accept the idea that they're not ready for the idea of him being in good shape. But also, like, his whole demeanor of Carl is, like, about being a lazy pothead. So the idea that he has a weight set in his crawl space or whatever that he, like, apparently works really hard on, you're like, oh, this kind of recontextualizes Carl, where you're like, he actually can really work hard on something and, like, commit to something. He just has really intense social anxiety, so he never leaves his house.
Weirdly enough, in my experience, there's big crossover between potheads and lifting weights. It's like a very strange thing. But it's like a lot of the people I know who are big potheads will get high and then work out. Like, okay.
Why is that?
I don't necessarily know. but there's a demographic.
Unless that entire Venn diagram is just social anxiety.
I think, yeah, and honestly, I know a lot of people with social anxiety that lift weights because it's something you could do by yourself, and it's like you just focus on something and you're alone.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like that's the biggest crossover is the social anxiety.
And they've also highlighted that Leo's gained weight because even Clint was like calling him a fat ass now.
But like I said, it's funny because like you look at this sprite right here, like that's never somebody I would call a fat ass. I mean, even like
there's just a lot of belly there.
Well, he just is a bigger dude. I don't know. It's very different.
It's like there too. Like that's how
you can tell when someone's disproportionately
He's got even more
overweight.
belly there in this painting.
Yeah. We haven't seen. We've seen him shirtless that one time. Yeah, the last time.
Yeah, at least once. You're just gonna have to remember with your mind, brain. I smirk, rubbing my shoulder. Swimming every day helps.
Oh, he's got a swimmer's body.
Because he actually gets to swim.
Because he's free.
He's finally escaped this fucking place. I tried looking it up online, and the problem is we're still not entirely sure where Echo is exactly, because we came up with very wrong answers originally, and I think all the data I've seen since then from other people has pointed further east than that, like not California itself.
It's just very reminiscent.
But it very much looks like river otters in North America. Like the most south they get is like Sacramento. Like, and then it's like the entire northern America and up through Canada and so on.
He could definitely just be out of place.
Yeah.
What exactly is
Leo? That's what I mean, because I'm just talking about me. I'm just talking about the idea that narratively and thematically he's out of place is that because they keep playing with these animals, and it's like, well, I think very specifically Otter is not the otters are not from this area, like so it highlights that he shouldn't be here. It's
plausible, like it makes sense. It's not like completely out of the way, but it's definitely like a little bit farther than where they're supposed to be.
Leo might be a red wolf.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is Leo again?
I don't know wolf areas very well. Coyotes make sense for this area. I don't know. He might be a red wolf. I've heard some people say maned wolf, and I'm like, I don't think maned wolves are in North America.
He doesn't look like a coyote.
No, he's not a coyote. He's explicitly a wolf. They talk about like the wolf packs and so on like that. Some people theorize that he's a maned wolf, but I think that's entirely cosmetic and not based on anything else. Which people also talk about Scipio being a maned wolf because they talk about him having a mane, and I'm still not entirely sure if that's true either. But he's not very lanky, which is like a maned wolf is. Have you seen them?
Well, they look like Irish wolfhounds. Kind of. Or at least in body type.
Irish wolfhound.
They just have long legs.
Are those the racing dogs?
No, you think a greyhound.
I can't think of an Irish wolfhound necessarily. But they just have
they don't have the same hair. They're just like basically almost like I think what a dog would be like, similar. And like a Great Dane's way too lanky.
Red wolves are super weird because they look like they're taller than they are long, which is a very strange look for almost any mammal. Like the legs just keep going. It's very strange. But anyway, Chase is swimming now, which he didn't get to do before, and now he's cut.
Like said, he's got a swimmer's body.
Leah rubs my shoulder, grinning. You look good. You always say that. And I always mean it. Well, thanks. I've gotten to the point where I've just stopped pretending that there isn't at least something still there between us. Oh no, maned wolves are way lankier than that, an Irish wolfhound. But those look like the horror dogs from Bloodborne, definitely.
Yes, I'm showing him a picture. Yeah, I like Irish wolfhounds because they look like they're from a scary movie.
Yeah, they use them in Bloodborne a lot. And I think I've stopped pretending that nothing's going to happen this trip, eventually. What really worries me is what will happen after. Leo, meanwhile, slides his hand over my stomach. Not that I'd care if you gained any weight. That happens. But I like you this way. Yeah, it happens.
That's kind of romantic. It's like, it's okay if you gain weight, I'll still love you. Not a lot of people are willing to say that.
'Cause I want to squeeze your belly. I only hesitate for a moment. I slide my own hand under his shirt, and Leo makes a soft gasping noise as I press it up against his stomach. His ears fold back, though he keeps a grin on his face.
Oh.
That's our grin. Being a wolf makes it harder, you know?
Drinking 10 beers at a time makes it harder, you know?
Calling him out.
Yeah.
I believe you. As if to try and convince me that he hasn't really gained weight, he flexes his abs, flattening the soft fur of his stomach against my palm. Steel wrapped in velvet. But you know I'm into that. I get the urge to adjust my pants so my dick isn't jammed so uncomfortably into the crotch. But I don't want to make it that obvious that I'm aroused. You mind feeling some other part of me? You're making me feel fat. I giggle before I slide my hand up his torso. Yeah, there he is, shirtless again.
Yeah, dude, I wouldn't necessarily call something like that fat.
There's just enough that he's got a belly and love handles. The artist had to draw little curves on the hips.
He's husky, even though he's not a husky.
Because the husky was actually the twink.
Yeah, he was.
This exposes more of his white stomach, all the way up to his chest, and I can feel his pounding heart. That better? Leo just gives a breathy, laughing exhale as he lets me feel him. He slides closer, resting both of his hands on my waist. I feel his peck with my hand as I thumb through his fur to find the nipple underneath, feeling it harden in response. Leo shudders and grins at me. I think this place does things to us, Chase. Remember our first kiss? This isn't the exact spot. Was it really 6 years ago already? I sigh, then slide both my hands under his shirt and wrap them around his waist, burying my face in his chest. Leo hugs back as he starts nibbling at my ears, which makes me gasp. Hey, can't we just enjoy the moment? Leo giggles. I am. I look up at him and I'm not sure if I just run into it, but we kiss. I was like, what is the sentence doing? It's a small peck, but then Leo puts his hand behind my head and pushes me deeper into the kiss. He opens his muzzle to clamp around mine, his warm tongue pressed up against my lips. I'm still for a moment, and so is he, waiting for me to respond. When I do, it's my paws around his back, me kissing back. A soft crack to my right makes me jerk my head from the kiss to look over.
Oh gosh, dude, we're never gonna fuck. Cause
well, how you doing, judgy looking boy?
Yeah, he's like.
Well,
he does look like he's judging really hard.
He looks like he's into fitness.
I mean, all these guys look like they're into fitness.
Well, he's got the tank top with the weird like markings on the or next to the neck, like it's a specific brand or something, and it looks
like something like Nike.
It looks like it's probably mesh or something.
Is that breathable athletic material?
But he very specifically has an elbow brace. And I'm like, what's up with that?
That is an elbow brace. I thought it made. I mean, it would really. Yeah, it would make sense. I thought it was shaped for a minute.
Yeah. Also, his pants or shorts are weird because they have specifically a weird outline by the pockets that also screams this is some kind of brand. Like it might even be from the sports store, as opposed to just like most. I think a lot of people just wear jeans. Like in this universe, the setting, it's weird to have like any kind of branded clothing.
I know a lot of guys that just like specifically wear. Like one of my family members asked for Christmas to get like Nike crew socks and black and white t-shirts and like basketball shorts. and that's just what he wears every day
Forever.
And I'm like, all right, not my style, but you know, you be you.
Kudzu's standing there, his arms folded. Leo coughs in surprise, pulling back as well as whipping his muzzle. Kudzu, what's up? The raccoon's expression is hard to read, as usual. but I see the corner of his muzzle quirk up after a while.
Not much. What's up with you?
Oh, you know, stuff. Leo laughs, and finally, Kudzu smiles. Hey, Kudzu. I speak up, feeling awkward staying silent after Kudzu caught us like that. He nods in my direction.
Chase, so what are you guys really doing out here? Seems like kind of a dumpy place to be doing that.
I blush, but turn and point to my camera bag sitting inside the opening of a car. I was filming for my project. This place is an important to Echo's history.
I see.
We could ask you the same thing.
Well, I'm not exactly doing that, am I? Anyway, I just take walks sometimes on my days off.
At the middle of the day?
Usually.
He narrows his eyes at me, clearly thinking that I'm suspicious about something, so I quickly add, I mean, it just gets so hot out here at this time of day. I'd die. Kudzu shrugs his shoulders nonchalantly.
I don't know. I go for walks a lot. That's what I was doing last night when I found you two.
Just patrolling. Hey, thanks for stepping in last night. That could have ended badly. Kudzu shrugs again.
It would have. Had to do something, didn't I?
Well, we appreciate it. Leo wraps an arm around me and hugs. So, how was he when he came to?
Pissed, obviously.
He always is.
But he said some things last night. You should stay away from him for a while.
Kudzu's normally placid face shows some concern for the first time. What? He say he was gonna kill me? Leo says it lightly, like it's not a big deal.
Among other things.
His eyes flick to me. I give a start. What? Whoa, wait. Did he say some shit about Chase? Leo's hackles rise, and I can see him starting to bare his teeth.
Again, he was on something last night. He might not even remember it, but I'm just warning you to be careful around him from now on.
Kudzu looks back at Leo.
Don't provoke him.
I wouldn't if he wasn't such a fucking asshat.
I love the insult asshat. It's such a good one. Just ignore him.
I swear to God, if he talked about doing shit to Chase... His grip tightens even more around me. Hey, I'll be gone in a few days. Don't worry about me. I am worried about you. I'm just really getting tired of that meth skeleton messing with everything I do. And if he fucking tries something with you...
Leo.
The air is tense, and I can feel Leo growling deep in his throat. Wanting to change the subject, I speak up. Hey, Kudzu. You know, we were gonna go out to the park and hang out. Did you want to come?
Thanks, but I think I'm good.
Leo perks up from his brooding. You know what? I think that's a good idea. We were gonna play some soccer, but there's only gonna be 3 of us. You could help even it out. Kudzu thinks.
I just imagine Kudzu, like, kicking all their asses in soccer.
Yeah. It's a raccoon, he's scrappy.
Well, I suppose I could use a workout.
You're just like TJ. I think you guys will get along great.
He's not at all like TJ.
Just the exercise. That's it. They're just short and exercise.
Yeah,
That's
but their personalities are immensely different.
TJ would have ran and hid. Last time we saw TJ get in a fight, he cried.
And he wouldn't be able to overtake that beefy neck. Kudzu's neck is beefy.
It's not. It's definitely just like raccoon fur and flesh. Just,
but there's like no
baggy.
differentiation between like his head. His head just goes straight up into his neck. Just goes straight up into his head.
Well, he's just really fuzzy.
Fuzzy.
Leo has an even bigger neck, and you know what dogs are actually shaped like.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I guess. Well, no. I mean, maybe it's because his snout doesn't reach out as far, so it's like he doesn't look like he has delineation of his face.
Yeah.
I like to think that his neck's beefy.
I don't
Makes me
really
happy.
see TJ and Kudzu getting along just because they're fitness conscious. They're practically night and day. Well, we're heading out about now. You want to come? Kudzu hesitates for a second longer before he nods his head with a quick jerk.
Alright, yeah. Why not?
And with that, I gather up my equipment and we head back to Leo's house. It's not surprising that Echo hardly has an inch of flat grass in the entire town. Leo says they're planning to lay down sod next to the lake when the area is further developed, but as of now, we have to settle for a park near Peyton. It's a plain stretch of grass, usually used for youth soccer games. In fact, I can remember when I was part of that same organization, back when my stubby legs didn't matter as much. Of course, after a few years, it became clear that, being an otter, I wasn't built for the sport. That's when I took up swimming, of course, but then I realized that I wasn't really great at that either. Of course, I could outswim any non-aquatic, but
Yeah,
when it came to the other
non-aquatics.
when it came to the other otters, I was pretty much bottom of the barrel. As we drive, TJ sighs next to me. I look over at him and he's got his elbow against the armrest, staring out the window as we pull into the empty parking lot. Everything alright? TJ's ears perk and he looks over at me, clearly forcing a smile. Of course. You don't seem that way. What's up? I lean closer to him. Leo's talking to Kudzu in the front, so we have some amount of privacy. TJ looks down at his lap for a moment, then just shrugs. I think it's pretty obvious, Chase. This whole trip has been pretty bad. I'm about to counter that. It hasn't been that bad, but he goes on. I just think it might have been best if I hadn't come. I feel bad is all. I was gonna say, you're about to tell Chase, you're about to tell TJ it's not been that bad when he's already been yelled at by Flynn at least twice.
Yeah, in like a very traumatic way too.
Yeah.
Not even just like yelling
about trauma too.
Yeah,
The way he tries not to frown, but does anyway, is both heartbreaking and adorable at the same time. I automatically rest a paw on his shoulder reassuringly. Shh. Stuff, he's self-censored for TJ.
Oh.
Shit. Stuff happens, right? We came here to have fun, and that's what we're gonna do right now. Yeah. It's just, I feel bad for everyone else. What happened yesterday, I think it affected everyone. No way! I had a great time with Leo yesterday. Wasn't sad at all.
Yeah, you weren't with everybody else.
Without you, fuck you. I realize that statement makes me look like a
Yes.
total asshat, but TJ just nods as Leo parks the car. We're here. As we reach the field, Kudzu immediately starts jogging the length of it while TJ stretches. I stand there awkwardly for a second, not really sure if I should join them since that felt a little overboard for something so casual. Everybody else is so prepped and you're just like, you're just some asshole with short legs. At least I hope it's casual. Leo rests the soccer ball against his hip as he joins me.
You're lucky Jenna's not here. Because Jenna would try to beat
Yeah.
Leo, it'd be all hell would break
Everyone's
loose.
so much more competitive than Chase. They're so eager, huh? Apparently. Well, it's not a bad idea. Don't want to pull anything. So me and Leo do a few awkward stretches before the other two join us in the middle of the field.
Dude, we're at like that age where it's like you just have to stretch to do basic shit,
Yeah.
like running around for 20 minutes because
Yup.
like back when you were a kid you could just do this without thinking about it, but now it's like, oh, I should probably stretch before I do
Anything.
something very minimal.
Yeah. I was gonna cook. I should probably stretch first. So, time to pick teams. Do not put TJ and Kudzu on the same team.
There's only 4 of us. Shouldn't be too hard.
You want to pick? Kudzu looks between us before his eyes settle on me. Uh-oh.
Chase.
Why? Oh. Okay.
Probably best to keep the lovers off the same team to avoid distraction. I at least want a little bit of a challenge.
Kudzu gives Leo a little smirk. I blush, but Leo smiles easily, rolling his eyes. It's not like that.
Is it not?
Is it not?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So, I'm on Leo's team? TJ slides up to Leo's side and the wolf puts an arm around his shoulders. Yep, you're lucky to have me. You know, in my country, we had a war over soccer once.
I don't believe you.
It's true. Thousands died in the football war. Wait, you call it football? Because that seems pretty confusing since you're really into the other football. I live here now, so football is soccer and football is football. But if I were to call soccer football, I'd call it football. Enjoy that pronunciation with this non-accent of whatever the fuck I'm doing as his voice.
I feel like what he really means to say is you are understanding context, because if you're speaking to people who would recognize it as football, you would pronounce it that you'd say football.
Because for him, he's pronouncing it differently. Because I know that like football in German has an umlaut and a U, as opposed to what we would call it football. Like it's a flat.
We literally say it like the whitest folks in the world, like football.
Yeah, and the
there's a foot. You kick the ball.
Some
with
variation
your foot.
of is like 90% of American speech, I think.
Some type of
Yeah, we say everything in the way. Like that's like the specific tone we consistently have that seems to set us apart from everyone else's language, it feels like.
What do you mean, like a casual way? Are you talking about as it like?
I just mean like our way of saying almost every word drifts towards the sound, basically.
Well, we don't say football with an sound.
We say football.
Football.
Yeah.
There's no
as opposed to like football.
But you're saying. I don't understand what you mean.
Everything drifts towards the drawl.
Football.
It's a long-term thing that I've noticed, but I didn't like bring like data tables of examples. like our different way of pronouncing something from other countries always sounds like that, but also just somewhat. But I also just noticed that so much of our language and our just default like way of speaking constantly seems to go there, basically. Wait, what? Chica, let's just start. Kudzu looks around.
Since there's so few of us, why don't we just play half field? Grab a few rocks to mark the goal.
After that's done, we start playing, and for me, it's pretty much a disaster. TJ, of course, dominates all of us.
He's all fast and wily.
He is a lynx. He dodges around me with ease, making me look like an idiot as I spin around trying to catch him, falling on my ass more than once. Kudzu's able to hold his own for the most part, but TJ gets it past him without much difficulty. I think the lynx realizes how badly he's beating us after a while and starts to ease off. He passes it to Leo more often and only really steps in when we get near the goal. Leo, while big, is slow as hell and actually managed to steal the ball from him a few times. I actually think it's because he's not taking this seriously at all, because he keeps laughing and slapping me with his tail when I run past. At one point, with a score like 7-0, I managed to get near the goal. TJ jogs in as I kick the ball clumsily, and it's so clear that he misses on purpose that everyone bursts out laughing as it rolls into the net. TJ frowns. What? That was a great kick, Chase.
Aww, that's cute. Oh. Aww.
Save it for your rap, TJ. I lean over, resting my hands on my knees as I gasp for breath. If you're gonna let me score, you have to make it look more convincing than that, man. Also, I'm not 5. I can handle getting my ass kicked. I like the little detail where they have an expression change before they fade away.
That is a really nice touch. I like that a lot.
After a while, we switch up teams with TJ on my side and Kudzu and Leo together. It's a bit more even after that, with me being TJ's handicap and all. After about half an hour, we call it quits and head back to the parking lot where Leo throws us water bottles. Goodbye, Applebee's music.
That's good. I can see it.
I wipe my face and I sit on one of the parking blocks. Even though it's early evening, the weather is still way too damn hot.
Nobody brought orange slices.
No, we're gonna die out here. So far from civilization. Leo and TJ are already up again. TJ showing him some of the moves he had so viciously used on me. I'm glad to see TJ is somewhat happy again. His ears are up and he's smiling as he runs circles around Leo. Hey, how am I supposed to learn anything if you're just using them on me? Just trying to make me look dumb, eh? Sorry, alright, first thing you need to do... I noticed Kudzu standing a few feet away, watching along with me. So, I guess you've known Leo since you moved to Echo? Kudzu looks over at me before leaning back against Leo's van.
He's very smooth, dude. It's very cool. I just imagine him leaning back against Leo's van.
His arms have never uncrossed, even when he's playing soccer.
I know, when I voice him, I keep crossing my arms.
As a common trait is Stephanie often acts like the characters she's trying to voice.
It's my favorite is when I voice the women that are like ha 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 ha, and I get to put my hand up to my face like I'm laughing. Yeah, he saw me moving in and insisted on helping, so that's how I met him.
Sounds like Leo. Kudzu takes a swig from his water bottle.
He's a good guy.
Definitely. It's literally the first person that said good things about Leo and not, like, warned us about him. So, you used to live here, right? In Peyton?
Unfortunately. I guess Leo told you?
Yeah. I also remember Leo saying that some bad things had happened in the city for the raccoons, so I wonder if I should press or not. Probably shouldn't have brought it up. Chase? So it seems like you're just chasing bad ideas. Hey, sorry if I seemed like I was making fun of your name a few days ago. It's a cool name, just different, you know? Kudzu smirks.
No, I know it's weird. You just caught me at a bad time is all.
The sun was up. I spread my legs out, sighing as my knees pop.
That's his smile. It's just very little.
That's how much he has.
Smile.
That's a heavy brow.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely heavy brow with a lot of just darkness washing out any, like, expression in his face. Ugh, I'm not built for running around.
Well, yeah. You're built for swimming.
I raise my eyebrows at his bluntness. It's not really a speciesist thing to say, but most people don't often point out a species' aptitude.
Yeah, but I do wonder, like... I don't know. Are there... I'm assuming there aren't fish people. But I feel like there would be some people where it's like, dude, you literally have flippers. You are actually meant for swimming, perhaps. I'm not sure how far this goes.
So... I guess I wonder why you'd move to Echo. It's such a dump. That was unnerving. It was such a small difference. Look at his face.
He's like, yeah. It's like you upset him.
Yeah. Kudzu's silent for a while. In the meantime, we watch Leo fall on his ass after TJ kicks the ball between his legs.
People.
Huh?
People are the reason why I left Peyton.
Oh. Peyton is technically a small city with just 70,000 people. Compared to Pueblo, that's nothing.
The more people there are, the worse it is. It's the same anywhere.
Ah. Okay. Kudzu goes on.
Sure. In Echo, there's 100 shitty people. But in Peyton, there's 50,000 of them. I prefer Echo.
His tone is so dark at this point that I don't even respond. Something definitely happened here in Peyton, and I don't dare ask what it was. Luckily, I'm saved in awkward silence as Leo haphazardly kicks the ball in our direction and TJ comes running up to us. Damn it. Alright, I think that's enough for today. He jogs over, wiping his face. Man, I need a shower. You two getting along? No, we were actually about to just take each other out.
About to tussle?
Yeah, we're about to tussle. When Kudzu doesn't say anything, I pipe up. Yep?
Yep.
Leo frowns, clearly sensing something's wrong.
How can you tell he always looks like that?
Well, okay. Anyway, let's go out and get some ice cream. I've really been craving it. I stand up slowly, knees popping again as we all pile into the car.